Good morning. Thanks for having me. So, John Benedict, I'm with GTT, and I am the agent channel manager for the TCG team. And how many of you guys have heard of GTT before? Except for the guys who sold some of our stuff, so, okay, great. So I think we're the biggest carrier you've never heard of. When I joined the company about 3.5 years ago, we were about 60 people and $60 million. Today, we're over 700 people and about $550 million in revenue. And the goal is to be a $1 billion company within the next 2 years. And our CEO has got a strategic plan to get us there. So we've grown rapidly. We are a force in the marketplace. The biggest issue I have is just getting over GTT who. But once people get to know us, we get traction very quickly. So, okay, who are we? So I've got a lot of slides here. I guarantee I'm not going to go through a quarter of them. But just real quickly, today GTT is a global tier 1 IP network. We connect to any location around the world with any application in the cloud. We like to think of ourselves as being simple to deal with, fast to deliver service, and with agility, meaning lots of problems come up when you deliver services. We think we're pretty good problem solvers in getting stuff installed. So we have over 250 POPs around the world. We have network all around the world. We're opening up POPs. We just announced today we're opening up POPs in the Middle East, in United Arab Emirates, in Qatar, through a cooperation with a local carrier down there. We have POPs all throughout Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Tokyo. So we are truly a global carrier. We've grown a lot by acquisition. We acquired companies like NLayer, TINet, OneSource Networks. We do about 3 or 4 acquisitions a year. It's a large part of our growth, but organically we're growing at about 10 to 15% a year as well. So what we do acquire, we are growing, continuing to grow rapidly as well. So just yesterday, actually, with one of the TCG folks, I don't know if Matt's here, perhaps not. So, okay, we just closed, I'll call an international deal. It's one location in Australia for both MPLS and voice, along with 4 locations in the United States. And that's about a $7,000 a month deal. By the way, I've got a stack of $10 iTunes gift cards to give out to anybody who asks a question, or a networking or GTT related question. So please feel free to speak up at any time. Just a basic diagram. We're connected to just about every Equinix data center, Telex data center, IBM. We have a huge partnership with IBM. We connect to all their data centers here in the US and in Europe. We are connected with AWS. Amazon is growing dramatically. Big partnership with Google, Microsoft, and a number of others as well. So if your customers are doing any business with those guys, we're the guys to help you connect with those kind of applications, Microsoft 360, their email apps, et cetera, et cetera.
I'll do your first question.
Sure.
What's your penetration into the Caribbean and Puerto Rico?
So what we do is GTT owns no local assets. All right, that's actually we think a huge advantage for us. We can always be on the bleeding edge of getting network to other to your customers by utilizing the existing local assets that are in place by any other carrier. So we utilize, and we're vendor neutral from that perspective, in that we will use any local access provider to either resell their services or connect back to our services. So we're flexible that way. So with the Caribbean, depending upon the services that you're looking for, if it's a broadband service, we might resell an existing broadband carrier, Cable and Wireless, Xperio, all the names of the carriers, GlobeNet. So again, depending upon where you need service, we'll work with the local carrier to help either, again, resell that service and give you the GTT one throat to choke, or we'll bring it back to our closest POP, which typically is either Miami, McAllen, Texas. I think we're opening up a new POP in Mexico sometime in the coming year, so that might be interesting as well. We're going to have POPs in Sao Paulo, I think we have one in Colombia. I can't keep track because we're really opening up a number of POPs. Every month we're announcing new ones. So
Do you have POPs in Europe?
we have over 150 POPs in Europe, and we also every major European capital, Eastern European. We're in Russia. We're in Bucharest. We're in Budapest. We're Sweden, Stockholm. So, and if we're not somewhere, we can certainly get you there. Okay. So again, any Equinix facility in Europe, any IBM facility in Europe, we can get you there.
So again, you've got the ability to connect with any carrier in the world for access and for network, correct?
Absolutely.
So is it strictly layer 3 MPLS, or can you also do layer 2 connectivity, any-to-any connectivity?
Layer 2, Layer 3, any-to-any connected VPLS, MPLS. We are the 4th largest IP carrier in the world.
So you're able to do layer 2 any-to-any connectivity with multiple carriers?
Absolutely.
Or typically, it's usually one carrier.
Well, so for example, the MPLS network that we just closed yesterday, we have 5 locations and 3 different access providers. So, or actually 4 different access providers. The one reason we don't have the data center that they're located in is actually a colo with us as well. So it's just a cross connect and there's no access provider. But we can use EXO in one location, we can use AT&T in another location, we can use Suddenlink in another location. It doesn't matter.
And we can kind of dictate that. I only say that because some carriers don't like to let us tell them what carriers, or even tell us what carriers are using.
If you have
So I've got a primary, and let's say I come
Sure.
in for a secondary, I can say I can't have this access.
Of course. Absolutely. I mean, I think it would be arrogant for me to come and say, no, you're going to use this carrier. I mean, however you want to sell the business, I'm happy to do it that way.
Do you have a pop in Toronto?
Yes, we do. Absolutely. Do a lot of business up in Toronto, a lot of financials. I handle a lot of financials in New York City. We do a lot of low latency stuff. Well, we resell a lot of low latency stuff between New York and Toronto, but we also sell a lot of our backbone as backup. So we have paths that go up through Buffalo, paths that go out through Chicago. So yeah, very dense in that area.
And that's on your network?
That's on our network. So what we do is we buy 40 and 100 gig links between our POPs, and all of our POPs are multiple carrier, redundant, diverse, multiple paths. So in Chicago, I think we have 15 different paths out of Chicago, or New York, similar things. So Chicago, I think we have 3 POPs. In New York, we might have 6 POPs. We are, again, very dense backbone.
Got it. So if I simplify the question,
Sure.
if I wanted internet connection in Toronto and I did not want it to touch Level 3's network, could you tell me it's not going to touch Level 3's network?
Absolutely. What I will tell you is that we have peering agreements with Level 3, and we will pass traffic off. They will pass traffic to us, or we'll pass traffic to them. But if it's IP traffic that is coming, let's say, through Markham via Cogeco local access or Beanfield local access. So we're going from your customer premise to our POP into our IP network. Again, we're the 4th largest IP carrier in the world. So number 1 in the world is Level 3. I mean, they're massive. I think they are, 2, 3, 4, and 5 combined. I think number 2 is either Telesonora or NTT. Number 3 is one of those 2, and then we're number 4. And there's a couple of rankings out there that we may even say that we're number 3. But we're growing dramatically. We handle, I think, close to 11 terabytes of IP traffic per day.
I assume that the Caribbean would include the Bahamas and the same mechanism for
Yes.
securing the access
Yes.
through Arcos or one of the BTC.
Correct. So again, if you want broadband connections, I'm going to take a different path. If you want dedicated connections, I would go to different carriers for those different solutions. Anybody else? Okay, so let's go through.
Question back here.
Sure.
More just on location here in Miami. You have presence in Venezuela, Brazil, Argentina.
Yes.
I know you named it.
Well, when you say we have presence, so in Brazil we have a POP. I don't have a POP in Venezuela. However, I will procure access to get to Venezuela. I'm sorry. So I have a POP in Sao Paulo, Brazil, but I don't have access, let's say, in Venezuela or Bolivia. But if I need to get there as part of a global MPLS network, I will procure services from a local provider or from a carrier such as either Level 3, GlobeNet, or someone else, and then either resell that service or bring it back to my POP.
In your experience, have you had any traffic coming out of Venezuela
Yes, quite a bit.
today?
Yeah, so the challenge with Venezuela is obviously the government there. I've had questions, I think, from TCG, and may have been through you or somebody, about wanting to bill traffic in a specific way, and Venezuela requires that you bill it a certain way, and I forget exactly what it was, but obviously we have to abide by local or country-specific laws with regard to billing. Anybody else? Okay, so we talked about the services. So here's our chart. So level 3, NTT, Telsonora, GTT's number 4, Cogent number 5. So whole host of internet services, IP, DIA, managed services. We do a tremendous amount of managed services. So if you think about Yum Brands, Taco Bell's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, a lot of retail businesses use us. So every Kentucky Fried Chicken in the United States has a GTT broadband circuit with a GTT managed router and additional GTT managed services. Every United States post office utilizes GTT network and GTT managed services. So I think there's 10,000 post offices around the country. So very, very strong area for us. Okay, so Ether Cloud services, both layer 2, layer 3. And then the voice is kind of new to us. We bought a company called OneSource Networks back last October, but this enables us to provide SIP voice just about anywhere in the world. I think I've got a couple of requests about doing PRI interfaces. PRI gets a little bit complicated because we have to install equipment to do the conversion, getting equipment into foreign countries, tariffs and taxes and installs get a little bit more complicated. I will say we're still figuring that out a little bit, but pure SIP traffic, I can do that just about anywhere in the world. Also, porting of numbers, things of that sort. I have a list of, for instance, we can't port DID numbers in the Philippines, but we can certainly do it in Austria. In the United States, very easy to do this. We would be, we cover, I think, 93 or 94% of the United States with our SIP platform. We have POPs, our voice POPs are in McAllen, Texas, Austin, Texas, and I believe in Chicago.
Is your SIP on, is it you bring your own bandwidth only, or do you also do it where you bring it over your own network with QoS on it?
Both, absolutely. Sure. Okay. In fact, we do it. That's how we've broken down the door in some very large multinational companies, is bringing that SIP in over their existing MPLS network.
And then they can fail over to whatever their secondary route is.
Exactly.
You sell SIP trunks by themselves?
Mm-hmm. Per concurrent call path.
Anything in Haiti?
So you're the Haiti guy, okay. Haiti's a challenge. There's one carrier in Haiti, so everybody's going through that one carrier. I forget who it is.
Access Haiti.
Yeah, but there's only one piece of wire, so everybody's competing for that one piece of wire. You and I can sit down and strategize how to do that one, how we want to approach that. So the advantage there is if you have a customer that has lots of locations and Haiti and you want to incorporate it as one throat to choke, we're the people to do that. If you're looking for a small broadband connection, single location in a remote part of Haiti, it's a little difficult to do. We might not be the best choice for that one.
The U.S. private network you can do?
Sure, absolutely.
Are you Gartner ready?
We haven't paid the bribe yet, but we will eventually.
You pay the what?
The bribe. I mean, Gartner's a lovely company. I've dealt with them many times. The more money you pay Gartner, the better your rating is. Absolutely, absolutely. So, look, Gartner's a wonderful organization. They say, they do a great job.
Companies rely on that, that's why we like to ask.
Sure. Well, I've worked for Level 3, AT&T, and Verizon. I mean, Level 3 is highly ranked by Gartner in the managed services arena and in the networking arena. Level 3 is a great company. just can't get out of their way with on the enterprise side of the business, and I don't understand why. They keep tripping over themselves, and they're always on another apology tour. And not to say that GTT doesn't have problems. As we grow, we also have growing pains, but they're an outstanding wholesale company. They're a company that I like to do business with because they've got extensive network, and they are typically very quick to implement for us. But on the enterprise side of their business, when they're dealing directly with customers, they just seem to trip over themselves, and I don't know why.
This is Norm. Name one of the big carriers that doesn't trip over themselves. Meaning they all do when they get that big, so I agree with
True.
you. I agree with you.
True. Yes.
Another question on the Bahamas, for your SIP trunks, and do you have provisions for failover controllers actually locally
In the Bahamas?
in the Bahamas?
I don't know that we have one
Well, no,
locally.
can you? That's really the
It dep-
question.
it would dep-
Will you?
So we try to design all our SIP trunks with a primary and a backup path, and bring it back to diverse POPs. The Caribbean is unique in that you don't have that many access providers, and it's typically state-owned, again, one wire. If there is alternate ways to get access, then we would look to do that. And again, we work with you to figure that out. Okay? Okay. Full-featured enterprise PBX. Again, a new product for us, but again, a customer that's looking to completely outsource all of their voice services. We do that very well. I haven't done it yet, but looking forward to my first opportunity to engage on that one. By the way, on the voice services side, I can tell you, I think when we bought OneSource, we were doing about 100 million minutes a month. I think in the 7 or 8 months since we've acquired them, we've more than doubled that traffic, and I think we're going to double that traffic again before the end of the year. So it's a very compelling platform.
I have a question for you regarding your SIP trunks.
Sure.
Do you pool your SIP sessions across the globe so that a customer, for example, designing a global network could follow the sun and design the CCPs so they wouldn't have to purchase CCPs for every location around the world?
It's a good question. I don't know. If you give me your card, I'll get back to you. So again, just more detail about our internet services, IP transit, DIA, broadband and internet, DSL, cable, ADSL. I mean, a lot of you guys are throwing a lot of broadband quotes at me. Keep them coming. It's interesting because a lot of you guys want feedback instantaneously. I got a quote this morning. Somebody wants something back, half an hour ago, but I'm here talking to you, so I really can't do two things at one time. But I try to get things back within 24 to 48 hours. Some of the dedicated services, especially into the Caribbean, might take a week or so. But I try to be as responsive as possible. And if you don't hear from me, you're looking for a quote, by all means, please follow up with me and push me. Ether Cloud services, both Layer 2 and Layer 3, to your question. Any, both VPLS, MPLS, dedicated point-to-point Ethernet. Again, managed services, CPE, secure access, PCI compliance for your retail customers. We have a very extensive package around that. Multi-layered security, obviously. We have a DDoS offering and multiple security offerings to help protect your data, protect your access, protect the availability on your network. So SIP trunking, enterprise PBX, call centers, won't go through all of that. Network overview. One thing I really love about GTT, again, having worked in a place like Level 3. So one of the challenges Level 3 has is they bought lots and lots of companies, and so they have lots and lots of different infrastructure. We are 100% Juniper core, and it's staying 100% Juniper throughout our network. So as we acquire additional assets, typically they're also Juniper core. Why is this important? Having one hardware platform makes it very easy to integrate platforms and then to manage them. If you're buying a Cisco platform, a Juniper platform, an Alcatel platform, it's one of the reasons that some of the larger networks have some of the problems that they do. And having experienced some of the mergers with, having worked at Level 3 and experiencing some of the mergers with Global Crossing and others, and Broadwing, it is that translation between the platforms that can cause a lot of issues. So I think it's one of the reasons that we do so well. So again, MPLS, core backbone, Juniper. We can go, if you have questions on this, we can go through it later. Strong SLAs, 5 nines on our network. When we resell other services, we will pass through the other carriers' SLAs to you. Okay. There is a customer portal that's available to all your customers that they can go view their billing, they can view their orders, they can do reports, they can see the performance of their network, things of that sort. Case studies. Take-Two Interactive. So if your kids have video games, Grand Theft Auto and some of the other ones, all those kind of interactive games, they're riding over our network. And that means that that network has to be highly reliable, highly resilient. Latency has to be very low, or the gaming experience, your kids will be off that game and onto something else pretty quickly.
Are you saying that because of the Microsoft piece? Or just all the gaming companies are utilizing your network?
I'm saying Take-Two is utilizing us. I don't know if all of them are, but Take-Two certainly utilizes us for at least one half of their network, because I think they have at least a backup and possibly a tertiary network as well. Live Ops, 300 clients using cloud contact center platforms, 20,000 agents utilizing this throughout the United States and Europe. Deluxe, this is content creation and moving large files, video files across the country, across data centers. Edward Jones, 12,000 financial agents around the country. Again, a managed services type of opportunity where we install a broadband circuit with a managed router in each location and manage that. I mean, think about it. How do you manage 12,000 locations? Somehow we figured out how to do it. I'm not sure how we do it, but we figured out how to do it, and we do it well. FedEx, Public Storage, Ghirardelli Chocolate. Again, other examples of some large customers of ours. Lucky Brands, Papa John's, Fast Retailing. Again, large retail environments. Corporate overview. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm going quickly because I don't want to bore you guys. Yes, sir.
I have a question for you. So you did that thing for Live Ops. Are you their preferred broadband provider?
I don't know about broadband, but we are their primary network services provider. So broadband to me denotes,
Did they refer you guys to their clients? Like, are you like a logo referral partner?
Live Ops isn't my customer, so I couldn't answer that, but I can certainly ask the question and I can get back to you. Anything else?
You have a CDN offering?
Sorry?
CDN offering?
Content? No, we don't do CDNs.
Okay.
Though one of the networks we bought was a CDN network, and Layer. That acquisition was about 3 or 4 years ago, but no, we don't offer a specific CDN platform. So just to show you how we've grown, I joined the company here in 2013. The revenue is growing dramatically. Actually, this year, we're into 2016. We should be north of $500 million in revenue. Adjusted EBITDA is growing dramatically as well. Again, a lot through acquisition, a lot through organic growth. When I joined the company, again, we were 60 people. Now we are north of 700. We've got some really great people on our board. I know a lot of these people from previous lives. I worked with a lot of these guys, specifically at Broadband. Brett McCutcheon, Lane Levine, Rick Calder, Gina Nomolini. These are all outstanding people, very entrepreneurial, very flexible, really have a great appreciation and understanding of how this business works and how do we make it better and easier for our customers to buy from us and easier for us and how do we implement services out to you guys. So nothing's ever perfect, but I think we do things a lot better, quicker, faster, cheaper than most of our competition most of the time. there's always going to be an example where, AT&T is going to be able to do something better than we can, but, I think, again, 90% of the time, we're going to be able to do better for you. Board of directors, I mean, this is a who's who of some of the, the guys that were involved with MCI from the beginning and some others. Brian Thompson, who's our chairman, Howard Jansen, Teddy Smith. I mean, these guys have been around the industry for over 30 years and have been a real force in growing the company and giving our management team the tools it needs to, again, go acquire strategic assets to grow to where we are today.
Excuse me, is that out of focus, or do I have to go see my optometrist?
It's probably out of focus. So,
Thank you.
there we go. Sorry.
Save me a trip to my optometrist.
Okay. And I'm from New York. There's union rules about touching equipment. So.
Yeah.
All right. So why GTT? I could give you the pitch on the top of the board, but the issue for me is why GTT is that we can be just about anything you need us to be. So I can resell my network to you guys. I can resell somebody else's network to you guys. I can go out and sell you DS0s. I can sell you 40 gig circuits, and I do sell both. I have the team in place to be as flexible as possible to try and deliver the solutions that you need to your customers. Am I going to be able to deliver every single time? No. Somebody brought me an email opportunity the other day. I can't do email, I'm sorry. But I will try and give it my best shot every time, and again, I'll try to be as responsive as possible. And that goes for most of our team, or all of our team, I should say. So, and that's basically it. So,